Tonight on ESPN, the Stanley Cup playoff battle continues, followed by Baseball Tonight and SportsCenter. On ESPN2, a Stanley Cup playoff doubleheader. And on ESPN Classic, Behind the Fights with Jimmy Breslin and College Basketball Classics. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN at 7:30 Baseball Tonight. At 8, the Tribe slug it out with the Devil Rays. And at 11, the late SportsCenter. On ESPN2 at 7:30, NASCAR Winston Cup action, the Goodies Body Pain 500. And at 11:30, a hockey playoff preview on NHL Tonight. And on ESPN Classic, Classics Baseball's back. A whole night's worth of World Series highlights. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN at 7, SportsCenter. At 8, the Flyers and Rangers drop the puck. And at 11, the late SportsCenter. On ESPN2 at 8, Conference USA basketball. UNC Charlotte squares off against Memphis. Then at 10, College Hoops Tonight, followed at 10:30 by RPM Tonight. And on ESPN Classic at 7, Click and Pick. And at evening with the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN, SportsCenter, followed by Baseball Tonight and Sunday Night Baseball as the Cubs meet the Mets. On ESPN2, NHRA, RPM Tonight, the Gotham Cup Final, and continuous scores and breaking news on Bottom Line 2. And on ESPN Classic, Classic Click and Pick, Sports Century Click and Pick, and the 95 U.S. Open. Do you have all the ESPN networks? ESPN, SportsCenter, Baseball Tonight, then Sunday Night Baseball featuring the Rangers at the O's. On ESPN2, NHRA, RPM Tonight, and Sumo Wrestling. And on ESPN Classic, Mets Astros 86 and Sunday Drives, the 83 U.S. Open. Do you have all the ESPN networks? ESPN at 6:30 SportsCenter, at 7 ESPN Magazine, at 7:30 NFL Tonight, and at 11 the late SportsCenter. On ESPN2 at 9:30 Harlem Globetrotters basketball, at 11:30 NHL Tonight, at midnight NFL Tonight, and at 12:30 America's Cup Challenge. And on ESPN Classic, Sports Century's The 50 Greatest Athletes Marathon. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN, SportsCenter, followed by Legends of Hockey, Ultimate 9-Ball Challenge, and Baseball Tonight. On ESPN2, RPM Tonight, NHRA, NASCAR Coca-Cola Family 200, and NBA Tonight. And on ESPN Classic, Tonight at the Fights, and College Basketball Classics. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN, SportsCenter, followed by NFL Primetime and Sunday Night Football as the Jets battle the Bills. On ESPN2, horse racing, RPM Tonight, Fed Cup tennis, and continuous scores in the latest news on the Bottom Line. And on ESPN Classic, a pair of Click and Picks and a look back at Wimbledon. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN, a special Sports Center of the Decade, followed by Baseball Tonight and the 50 Greatest Athletes Countdown. On ESPN2, RPM Tonight, NFL Tonight, and Friday Night Fights, a great tradition reborn. And on ESPN Classic, In Focus, Chris Everett's Wimbledon Farewell, and the 1981 Daytona 500. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN, Baseball Tonight, followed by Sunday Night Baseball, the Dodgers at the Giants, and a complete wrap-up on SportsCenter. On ESPN2, Women's World Cup and Day 1 of the X Games, plus continuous scores and updates on ESPN2's Bottom Line. And on ESPN Classic, Classic Click and Pick, where we show you what you want to see, and the 87 U.S. Open. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN SportsCenter, followed by Baseball Tonight, and Sunday Night Baseball as the Yankees take on the Angels. On ESPN2, RPM Tonight, NASCAR, and continuous scores and the latest news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic Click and Picks, and Wimbledon 1976. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN SportsCenter, followed by Arena Football, Hall of Fame Roundtable, and Baseball Tonight. On ESPN2, RPM Tonight, the Super Chevy Series, the Fitness Universe Pageant, and Ultimate 9-Ball Challenge. And on ESPN Classic, Behind the Fights and College Basketball Classics. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN at 7 SportsCenter, at 7:30 at 64 to the Sweet 16, at 8 the Rangers Penguins, and 11 the late SportsCenter. On ESPN2 at 7, 9, and 11 the second round of the Women's College Basketball Tournament, plus continuous scores and breaking news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic at 7, Click and Pick, Luck of the Irish, at 9, Real Classics, followed by Wilma Rudolph's Sports Century Profile. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tonight on ESPN SportsCenter, followed by Game 6, Dallas, Colorado, Baseball Tonight, SportsCenter, and more Baseball Tonight. On ESPN2, RPM Tonight, X-Trials, and a complete hockey roundup on NHL Tonight. And on ESPN Classic, Sugar Ray's Hit Parade, and Big Fights Boxing Hour featuring Max Schmeling. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tomorrow on ESPN SportsCenter, followed by Baseball Tonight and Sunday Night Baseball as the Braves battle the Cards. On ESPN2, the PRCA Rodeo Tour, RPM Tonight, AMA Motocross, and continuous scores and news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic, the Steffi Graf salute continues on a classic night of tennis. Do you have all the ESPN networks? ESPN SportsCenter, followed by NFL Primetime and Sunday Night Football as the Steelers take on the Browns. On ESPN2, an evening of auto racing and continuous scores and the latest news on the bottom line. And on ESPN Classic, a pair of college classics. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tomorrow on ESPN at 6 SportsCenter, then at 7:30 Baseball Tonight, and at 8 it's Game 3 between the Stars and the Avalanche. On ESPN2 at 7 RPM Tonight, at 9 Friday Night Fights, at 11:30 NHL Tonight, and at midnight NBA Tonight. And on ESPN Classic at 8, 16 Days of Glory from the summer of '84, and then an evening of classic auto racing. Do you have all the ESPN networks? Tomorrow on ESPN SportsCenter, followed by Colorado-Detroit Game 3 and Baseball Tonight. On ESPN2, RPM Tonight, followed by Game 3 in the Toronto-Pittsburgh Playoff Series and NHL Tonight. And on ESPN Classic, NFL Films Championship Games, Sugar Ray's Hit Parade, and Big Fights Boxing Hour. Do you have all the ESPN networks? ESPN, National Hockey Night, Baseball Tonight, and SportsCenter. On ESPN2, the '99 NFL Draft, followed by X in Concert and NHL Tonight. And on ESPN Classic, Behind the Fights and College Basketball Classics. Do you have all the ESPN networks?